Hello, welcome ladies and gentlemen. My name is Remy. I'm a teacher of chemistry. Today, we are going to deal with the formation of ionic compounds. Remember, last time we talked about types of chemical bond. Let's really today deal with the formation of ionic bonds. Formation of ionic compounds. Remember, this kind of bond is formed between metal and non-metal. To me also, we have different examples that contains these kinds of bond. For example, we have sodium chloride. How this compound is formed? Remember, ionic, if it takes a place between metal and non-metal, this means it is a bond between opposite charges. It is a bond between cation and anion. Let's start. This sodium is number 11 on the periodic table. In this formation, I'm going to focus on the electrons located on the last shell. This sodium is number 11. To me, it has one electron in the outermost shell. It has one electron on the outermost shell. And then it reacts with chlorine. Number 17 on the periodic table. Also, I'm going to show the electrons on the outermost shell. To me, it has 7 electrons. Here, for example, it has 2 on this side. Then it has 2 here, 2 here, and have this. These are the 7. This atom of chlorine needs 1 electron in order to have 8 in their outermost shell. That's why this sodium loses 1 electrons, or it transfers this 1 electron to chlorine, and then this produces. Remember, when an atom loses electrons, it becomes a positive charge. That's why it is cation. Sodium loses 1 electron. We have chlorine. This chlorine becomes chloride because it is an ion. Remember, it gains 1 electron in order to have 8 electrons. If it gains 1, it becomes negative charge. Remember, as I have said, ionic compound, it is really formed between different charges. It forms between cation and anion. Let's take example 2. Let's take, for example, magnesium oxide. This magnesium is a metal, while oxygen is a metal. Magnesium is number 12 on the periodic table. It is number 12. To me, it has 2 electrons on the last shell. It contains 2 electrons. And then react with oxygen. Remember, oxygen, it is number 8 on the periodic table. On the first shell, it has 2. On the last, it has 6. I'm going to show 6 electrons of the last shell here. 1 electron this side, another here, another here, another here. For example, I can put here and here. These are 6 electrons. To me, this oxygen needs 2 electrons in order to become stable. Remember, those electrons received are called valence. And then, this magnesium transfer 1 electron on this side, another on this side. This will produce magnesium loses 2 electrons. When an atom loses electrons, it becomes positively charged. I write 2 because it loses 2. I have oxygen, where this oxygen has 1 electron this side, 2 here, while 1 here, 2 here. And then remember, it receives 2. It receives 1 electron on this side, and it receives another one here. That's why this becomes anion. And remember, it receives or it gains 2 electrons. That's why it becomes negatively charged. This is another example of formation of ionic compound. Let's look about the last example. Example 3. About aluminium chloride. Aluminium chloride. Aluminium atom is number 13 on the periodic table. To me, it contains 13 electrons. Remember, I have said at the beginning, I show all the electrons on the last shell. Aluminium has 3 on the last shell. For example, here it has electron on this side, even here. It reacts with chlorine atom. Here we have 3 atoms of chlorine. That's why we are going to show those different atoms. I have 3 different atoms of chlorine. Remember, chlorine, it is number 17 on the periodic table. It has 7 electrons in their outermost shell. Here 2 electrons, on this side 2, even here 2, and then 1. This is 7. The same, here this chlorine has 7, and this chlorine has 7 electrons. Remember, chlorine atom has ability of receiving only 1 electron. That's why I write these 3 atoms of chlorine. And then here aluminium transfer 1 electron on this chlorine. This electron also on this chlorine, and this on this chlorine. To me, aluminium, in order to become stable, it needs really 3 chlorines. This will produce, remember, aluminium loses 3. Aluminium loses 3 electrons, that's why it becomes positively charged. And then each chlorine receives 1. That's why I can write the structure of 1 chloride and then I multiply by 3. In this way, I can write 1 structure of chloride, 2 electrons, on this side 2, here 1, and then remember, it receives 1 electron. Chloride have a bit of receiving 1, but remember, we have 3 atoms of chloride. This is how aluminium chloride is formed. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to subscribe, to share, and to make a comment. Bye bye.